Tsunami hits Indonesia. Rescuers searching islands ravaged by a tsunami off western Indonesia raised the death toll to 343 on Thursday as more bodies were found, and said the number was very likely to climb higher because hundreds and hundreds of missing people may have been swept away. Elsewhere in Indonesia, the volcano that killed at least 33 people this week began erupting again. There were no immediate reports of new casualties. More than 40,000 people had fled or been evacuated from Merapi's slopes earlier in the week, but many started to return after the volcano appeared to become calmer. Mourners also held a mass burial Thursday during a lull in the volcano's rumblings. The Indonesian president was to meet Thursday with survivors of the twin catastrophes which struck within 24 hours in different corners of the seismically charged region, severely testing the nation's emergency response network. Islanders dug graves and put up tarps to sleep under in one of the hardest hit areas, where a 10-foot wave had swept houses off their foundations and deposited the shattered remains in the jungle. Many residents who fled to the hills were refusing to return home for fear the sea might lash out again. Officials say a multi-million-dollar warning system installed after a monster 2004 quake and tsunami broke down 1 month ago because it was not being properly maintained. A German official at the project disputed that, saying the system was working, but the quake's epicenter was too close to the Mentawai Islands for residents to get the warning before the killer wave hit. Parts of an early warning system installed after the huge 2004 tsunami killed more than 226,000 people had been stolen, but overall the system still worked, said the head of the meteorological agency. In the tsunami-ravaged Mentawai Islands, search and rescue teams, kept away for days by stormy seas and bad weather, found roads and beaches with many fatalities lying on them. Huge areas of land were underwater, and houses lay crumpled with tires and slabs of concrete piled on the surrounding sand. The West Sumatra Provisional Disaster Management Agency raised the official toll Thursday to 343 from 311 earlier in the day. At least 338 people are still missing. Teams are losing hope of finding those missing since the wall of water created by a 7.8 magnitude earthquake crashed into the islands on Monday. They believe many of the bodies were swept to sea. All of them are gone. Villagers huddled under tarps in the rain and talked about how many who had fled to the hills were too afraid to return home. On another nearby island, more than 100 survivors crowded into a makeshift medical center. Some still wept for lost loved ones as they lay on straw mats or sat on the floor, waiting for medics to treat injuries, including broken limbs and cuts. A fisherman, age 30, recalled being jolted awake by the quake and running outside to hear screams from his neighbors to run to higher ground. First, we saw seawater recede far away. Then, when it returned, it was like a big wall running toward our village. Suddenly, trees, houses, and all things in the village were sucked into the sea, and nothing was left, he said. A local fisheries ministry official who survived the earthquake and wave that hit because he was on higher ground quickly formed a rescue coordination committee and began traveling to other areas, finding a number of villages flattened. Not even the foundations of houses are standing. All of them are gone. He said the devastation he saw indicates the wave could have been higher than reported in some areas, perhaps more than 20 feet high. All these are more signs, and again, Mark chapter 13, verse 8, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginnings of sorrows. There are many different signs happening daily all around the world, and these are the end times, transition days, which again is a continuing process. Malachi chapter 4. For behold, the day comes that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yes, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that comes shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, but it shall leave them neither root nor branch. 2. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and go up as calves of the stall. 3. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet, in the day thou shalt do this, saith the Lord of hosts. 4. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel, with the statutes and judgments. 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. 6. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. And again, there are many different signs happening all around the world. Also, Luke chapter 21, verse 10. Then Jesus said, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. Yes, it's time for all prophecy to be fulfilled.